I stood in the property manager's office holding the deed to Diane's building. She had sent 14 people a recording of me to end my career. I didn't say a word to her. I didn't have to. My name is Marcus Osai Williams, and for 3 years I was just another face in the Meridian Analytics office in Charlotte. I didn't talk about where I came from or who my father was. That wasn't modesty. It was principle. I needed to know that when I sat at that senior project lead desk, I sat there because I was good. And I was good. I built dashboards that saved the company over $2 million in vendor inefficiency. I earned that promotion the hard way. Diane approached me maybe 2 months after my promotion, said she was glad to see someone like me moving up. I took that at face value. She started sitting next to me in team meetings, sharing lunch, venting about the department director's chaotic decision-making. I did the same. I thought we were building something real. Workplace solidarity. She was warm, funny, self-deprecating. She seemed genuinely invested in my success. I let my guard down completely. That's the part I have to sit with. It started as a feeling I couldn't name. I walked past the HR conference room one Thursday and saw Diane inside, speaking to Donna from HR in a way that looked rehearsed, almost formal. She didn't see me. When I asked her about it later, she said it was just a check-in, but I noticed she'd stopped joining me for lunch. She was still friendly in group settings, still laughed at my jokes. But something was subtly different. Like she'd gotten what she needed and now she was waiting. They played me the recordings in that room, my own voice, edited into a sequence that made me sound like I resented leadership, like I was a liability. 3 separate conversations I'd had with Diane over 4 months. She'd stitched them together into a case against me. They were framing it as a pattern of behavior. I sat there listening to myself and I couldn't speak, not because I was guilty, but because I genuinely believed she was my friend. That kind of wrong lands differently than being mugged. You handed someone the weapon. A colleague I trust forwarded me the original email Diane sent. It went to HR, my direct supervisor, 6 team members, and this is the part that stopped my breath, the CEO. She'd carbon-copied Gerald Osei directly. She had no idea. She thought she was delivering a dossier to the top of the company about a problem employee. She'd sent it to my father. He called me that evening. He already knew my name. He'd already been reading it when it came in. In that moment, the whole situation tilted on its axis. I told Gerald I didn't want Diane fired. He was surprised. I told him I had something else in mind, but I needed his help structuring a private loan, and I'd pay every cent back with interest. He asked me once if I was sure. I was. I found the building through public county records. Plaza Midwood, 12 units, a private landlord who'd been trying to sell for 8 months. The numbers worked. I had the down payment. Gerald handled the loan documentation through his personal trust. I hired a property management firm. I signed the deed on a Tuesday. I instructed the property management firm to conduct a standard rent review across all units and bring them to current market rate with full legal notice periods. I did not single Diane out. Every tenant in that building received the same documentation. I was not her landlord seeking revenge. I was a property owner applying consistent market standards. I never contacted her. I never told her who I was. Some people choose fire. I chose something quieter. The kind of consequence that arrives in an envelope and asks no dramatic questions. I learned through mutual connections that Diane had moved out of the Plaza Midwood building by March. I also heard through the office grapevine, this was before I resigned, that HR had opened a counter-investigation into the methods she used to compile the recordings and whether she'd violated company privacy policy. She was placed on a performance improvement plan and left Meridian 4 months after I was demoted. I don't know where she is now. I didn't celebrate. There's a specific kind of hollowness that comes when something you built toward finally arrives and you realize the victory isn't the point. I work with my father now. Not because he handed me anything. We negotiated my role, my salary, and my ownership stake the same way I would with any employer. I kept the Plaza Midwood building. The rent income helps pay back Gerald's loan faster. I think about what Diane did and what I did in return, and I won't pretend my hands are entirely clean. I moved people for money. But I want to be honest about this. I stopped needing her to know it was me. That's the moment I knew I was actually okay. The moment it stopped mattering whether she understood.
Like, subscribe, and comment your verdict below for more betrayal stories.